There is a proverb that has destroyed more dreams, bankrupted more businesses, and wasted more human potential than any other sentence in the history of language. It is a proverb that is stitched onto pillows, printed on inspirational posters, and repeated by well-meaning parents to their ambitious children. The proverb is, "Good things come to those who wait." This is a lie. Good things do not come to those who wait. Good things come to those who hunt. Good things come to those who build. Good things come to those who take. To those who wait, the only thing that comes is the leftovers, the scraps, the decay, and eventually, death. You have been conditioned to view patience as a moral virtue. You have been taught that rushing is a sign of immaturity. You have been taught that slow and steady wins the race. You look at the tortoise and the hare, and you are told that the tortoise is the hero. But in the real world, in the jungle, in the market, in war, the tortoise gets eaten. The tortoise is roadkill. The hare only lost because he was arrogant and took a nap. If the hare had kept running, the tortoise would have finished the race next Tuesday. We live in a universe governed by the laws of physics. And in physics, force equals mass times acceleration. If you want to make an impact on the world, you need force. You cannot change your mass easily, but you can change your acceleration. Speed is a force multiplier. A rock thrown gently at a window bounces off. A bullet, a very small rock, fired at high speed, shatters the glass. The mass is small, but the velocity is high. You are living your life at the speed of a rock. You are drifting. You are waiting for the right time. You are trusting the process. And because you are moving slowly, you have no impact. You bounce off obstacles that should have shattered before you. You are easily stopped by resistance. You are suffering from the disease of slowness. Today, we are going to cure that disease. We are going to explore the physics of success. We are going to dismantle the OODA loop used by fighter pilots to kill their enemies before the enemy even knows they are dead. We are going to look at Parkinson's law and why you can finish a 30-day project in 24 hours. And we are going to teach you how to weaponize velocity, how to collapse timelines, outrun your fear, and achieve in 1 year what takes the average man a decade. You are about to learn that patience is not a virtue. It is a waiting room for the dead. If you are ready to stop waiting and start accelerating, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to the channel right now. The train is leaving the station, and it is not waiting for you. Let's go. Nef of waiting. Why is waiting so dangerous? Because of entropy. The second law of thermodynamics states that the universe tends toward disorder. If you leave a house alone, it does not get cleaner. It gets dusty. It rots. If you leave a relationship alone, it does not get deeper. It grows cold. If you leave a business idea alone, it does not ripen. It dies, or someone else executes it. Time is not a neutral medium. Time is a corrosive acid. Every second you wait, the probability of success drops. Your motivation fades. The market changes. Your energy leaks. The doubt creeps in. Speed is the antidote to entropy. Speed is the assertion of order over chaos. When you move fast, you deny entropy the time to set in. Think about riding a bicycle. When you move slowly, the bicycle is unstable. You wobble. You have to fight to keep your balance. The gravity wants to pull you down. When you pedal hard, when you generate speed, the bicycle becomes stable. It cuts through the wind. It creates its own equilibrium through momentum. Momentum is the magic variable. When you have momentum, Problems that used to stop you become irrelevant. You smash through them like a freight train smashing through a wooden barricade. When you are stopped, a single pebble under the wheel can prevent you from moving. Most of you are wobbling. You are overthinking. You are unstable. You think the solution is to find balance. The solution is to speed up. If you go faster, the balance takes care of itself. The OODA loop, speed as warfare. To understand the tactical advantage of speed, we must look at military strategy. Colonel John Boyd was a fighter pilot and a military theorist. He developed a concept called the OODA loop. It stands for observe, see the situation, orient, analyze the data, decide, choose a move, act, execute. In a dogfight, both pilots are going through this loop constantly. Boyd discovered that the pilot who can cycle through the OODA loop faster wins. If I can observe, orient, decide, and act before you have even finished orienting, I have already changed the situation. By the time you decide, your decision is based on old data. I am already behind you. I have gotten inside your loop. Once I am inside your loop, you are reacting to the past. You become confused, paralyzed, and then you die. This applies to business and life. The slow person is still orienting. I need to do more market research. I need to think about my brand colors. I need to ask my friends what they think. Meanwhile, the fast man has already decided and acted. He launched the product. He got the feedback. He failed. He adjusted. He launched again. He has gone through the OODA loop 5 times, while the slow man is still on step 2. The fast man learns 5 times faster. The fast man adapts 5 times faster. The fast man wins, not because he is smarter, but because his cycle time is shorter. Intelligence is overrated. Cycle speed is underrated. You can be a genius, but if it takes you a year to execute an idea, the idiot who executes in a week will beat you. He will learn the lessons you are still theorizing about. Perkinmized law. Why do things take so long? Why does a project take 3 months? Usually, because you gave it 3 months. This is Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself 30 days to write a paper, it will take 30 days. You will procrastinate for 28 days, stress for 1 day, and write it on the last day. If you give yourself 24 hours to write the same paper, you will write it in 24 hours. And it will probably be just as good, or better, because of the flow state. The constraint of time creates focus. When you have infinite time, patience, you have zero focus. You browse the internet. You tweak the font size. You worry about perfection. When you have zero time, urgency, you cut the fluff. You focus on the essential. You execute. You must impose artificial deadlines on your life. I will launch this business in 7 days. I will lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks. I will read this book by tonight. This sounds stressful. It is. But it is eustress, good stress. It is the stress of performance. It forces your brain to operate at a higher clock speed. Most people treat their goals like a hobby. I'll get to it when I get to it. Treat your goals like a hostage negotiation. The clock is ticking. The gun is to your head. If you had 24 hours to make $1,000 or you would die, would you be able to do it? Yes. You would sell your furniture. You would knock on doors. you would find a way. The capability is there. The urgency is missing. The compounding of iteration. About compound interest in finance, but we rarely talk about compound iteration. Success is a function of how many times you can fail and learn. Let's say it takes 10 failures to find the winning formula. Person A fails once a year. It takes him 10 years to succeed. Person B fails once a month. It takes him 10 months to succeed. Person C fails once a week. It takes him 10 weeks to succeed. They all had to pay the same tuition, 10 failures. But Person C paid it up front. Person A paid it on a payment plan. Why would you want to be on the payment plan? Why would you want to drag the suffering out over a decade? Compress the suffering. Compress the failure. This is the philosophy of Silicon Valley. Fail fast. Get the failure out of the way. Get to the truth. The patient man is often just a coward who is delaying the pain of failure. He spends 2 years planning the perfect business so he doesn't have to launch it and risk rejection. If he launched it on day 1, he would have been rejected immediately, and he would have saved 2 years of his life. Rejection is data. Delay is data loss. Look at the curve. The person who iterates quickly creates an exponential growth curve. The person who iterates slowly creates a linear, flat line. Speed allows you to access the exponential. The death of perfectionism. Speed and perfection are enemies. You cannot have both. The slow man is obsessed with perfection. It's not ready yet. I need to fix this detail. He views his work as a fragile masterpiece that must be protected until it is flawless. The fast man is obsessed with output. He views his work as an experiment. It's good enough, ship it. It's ugly, ship it. It's broken, ship it, and fix it later. Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, said, "If you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late." Embarrassment is the price of speed. You have to be willing to put out work that is imperfect. You have to be willing to be judged. The patient man protects his ego by hiding his work. The fast man sacrifices his ego to gain momentum. The market rewards the good enough that exists over the perfect that doesn't. A mediocre website that is live can make money. A perfect website on your hard drive creates nothing. You are not Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel. You are a soldier in the trenches. Fire the weapon. You don't need a perfect shot. You need volume of fire. Micro speed versus macro patience. Now, a clarification. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about micro speed, macro patience. This is a critical distinction. Macro patience means you understand that the big result, the empire, the legacy, takes time. You don't quit after 3 months because you aren't a billionaire. Micro speed means that in the day-to-day, you move with violence. You squeeze every drop out of the hour. You execute immediately. Most people have this reversed. They have micro patience and macro speed. In the micro, today, they are slow. They watch TV. They procrastinate. They say, "I'll do it tomorrow." They are patient with their own laziness. In the macro, the dream, they are impatient. They want to be rich now. They want the shortcut. They buy the lottery ticket. They join the get-rich-quick scheme. This is the loser's formula. Slow action plus high entitlement equals misery. You need the winner's formula. Fast action plus low entitlement equals inevitability. You work fast today. You work fast tomorrow. But you don't expect the tree to be fully grown tomorrow. You water it violently. You prune it violently, and then you wait for nature to do its part. But you never wait for your part. The window of opportunity. Opportunities are not static. They are opening and closing doors. There is a concept called timing. The market moves. The trend shifts. The girl walks away. The job gets filled. If you hesitate, the window closes. The universe rewards decisiveness. When you see an opening, you must dive through it. You don't have time to weigh the pros and cons for a month. By the time you finish your pro-con list, the opportunity is gone. The person who jumped is already inside. General Patton said, "A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week." Warfare is about seizing the initiative. Life is warfare. If you are passive, if you are slow, you are letting the enemy, competitors, entropy, time, dictate the terms of the battle. When you move fast, you dictate the terms. You force the world to react to you. You become the cause, not the effect. Speed kills fear. Here is the psychological benefit of speed. Action displaces fear. Fear lives in the gap between the idea and the execution. I have an idea, gap. I take action. In that gap, the demons live. What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if I'm not ready? The longer the gap, the louder the demons. If you wait 3 days to make the phone call, the fear grows into a monster. It paralyzes you. If you make the phone call 3 seconds after thinking of it, the fear doesn't have time to boot up. Speed allows you to outrun your own neuroses. It allows you to bypass the amygdala, the fear center. You act before you have time to be scared. This is how you build confidence. Confidence does not come from affirmations. Confidence comes from a stack of undeniable proof that you are a person who acts. When you move fast, you prove to yourself that you trust your gut. When you move slow, you prove to yourself that you doubt your gut. Speed is self-trust in motion. The cost of waiting, memento mori. Rossi, we must look at the ultimate deadline. You are dying. This is not a metaphor. It is a biological reality. You have a terminal diagnosis called humanity. The clock is ticking. You do not have infinite time to figure it out. You do not have time to be patient. Every day you waste preparing is a day you never get back. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." We waste it in hesitation. We waste it in waiting. We live as if we are immortals. We say, "Someday. Someday I'll start the business. Someday I'll travel. Someday I'll write the book." There are 7 days in the week, and someday is not one of them. The only day that exists is today. The only time that exists is now. If you don't do it now, you are casting a vote for never. When you truly internalize death, you become impatient. You become intolerant of delay. You become a man in a hurry. Not a frantic, anxious hurry, but a purposeful, intense hurry. You realize that this is your one shot. Why walk when you can run? Why wait when you can take? Tactical protocols, the velocity system. How do we implement this? How do we become fast? Here are the tactical protocols for velocity. Protocol 1, the 24-hour rule. If you have an idea that excites you, take the first physical action within 24 hours. Not research, action. Buy the domain, send the email, post the video. Do something that puts skin in the game. If you let 24 hours pass without action, the idea is dead. Bury it. Protocol 2. The 50% timeline. Look at your goals. Look at the deadline you set. Cut it in half. I want to launch in 6 months. No. Launch in 3 months. I want to write the book in a year. No. Write it in 6 months. The artificial compression forces you to innovate. It forces you to cut the non-essential. You will be amazed at what you can do when you remove the luxury of time. Protocol 3. The MVP. Minimum viable product. Stop building Ferraris. Build skateboards. Get the simplest, ugliest version of your idea out into the world immediately. Get feedback. Then improve it. Version 1.0 is supposed to suck. If you are trying to launch version 5.0 on day 1, you will never launch. Release the garbage, then polish it. Protocol 4. The do it now habit. If a task takes less than 5 minutes, never write it down. Never schedule it. Do it immediately. Reply to the text. Wash the dish. Pay the bill. Clear the queue. This keeps your mental RAM free. The slow man has a mental backlog of 100 tiny tasks weighing him down. The fast man has a clear mind because he handles the small stuff instantly. Protocol 5. The ready, fire, aim methodology. Traditional wisdom, ready, aim, fire. Predator wisdom, ready, fire, aim. Get into the ready state, intent. Fire, action. Then aim. Correct the course based on where the bullet hit. You cannot aim a bullet that hasn't been fired. You cannot steer a stationary ship. Fire first, correct later. This feels reckless. It is. But it is how you learn. The feedback from a missed shot is worth more than the theory of a perfect aim. The gravity of the slow. Be warned. When you start moving fast, the slow people will hate you. They will tell you to slow down. They will tell you you're rushing. They will tell you you're going to burn out. They are not worried about you. They are worried about themselves. Your speed highlights their stagnation. Your velocity makes them look like they are standing still, because they are. This is the Doppler effect of success. As you speed away, their voices will drop in pitch and fade away. Do not listen to them. Do not slow down to make them comfortable. If they want to talk to you, they can speed up. If they can't keep up, they get left behind. This is the ruthless law of the pack. The slow wolves don't eat. The transformation. When you adopt the philosophy of speed, your life changes texture. It becomes crisp. It becomes sharp. You stop living in the gray fog of hesitation. You live in the bright light of action. You will make mistakes, yes. You will crash, yes. But you will live more in 1 year than most people live in 10. You will accumulate wisdom, scars, and victories at a rate that defies logic. You will bend reality to your will because you are hitting it with enough force to mold it. Stop waiting for the permission. Stop waiting for the safety. Stop waiting for the perfection. The light is green. It has always been green. Push the pedal through the floor. I want you to make a decision today. Look at the one thing you have been delaying. The phone call, the application, the breakup, the launch. Do it. Right now. Before this video ends, pause the video and do it. And I want to ask you a question in the comments. One that creates a contract of speed. What is the one action you have been putting off for someday? And what is the specific step we'll take within the next hour to execute it? Don't tell me what you will do next week. Tell me what you will do in the next hour. Speed is the only truth. Welcome to the void. Welcome to strategic solitude.